This is Crusader Kings 3, and today I'm gonna be completing my most difficult, absurd, and painful challenge yet. Becoming a god amongst men, spreading my religion across the entire planet, and being so rich I could single-handedly break the economy. All by creating the world's first crypto scam. I mean religion, the world's first religion. Hello, Ottawans and Ottaweds from around the globe. Today, I've teamed up with Paradox Interactive for a very special video on their new Legends of the Dead DLC. You see, CK3 is a map-based game where you play as a medieval ruler, tax your peasants, invest in your lands, secure your genetically pure bloodline by marrying your sister, cousin, aunt?
Hey, yo, what the?
And now with this new DLC, hopefully one day, war your neighbors and become a legendary emperor. But that's what everyone does. That's what Paradox wants you to do. And I told you, this video was special. We're not gonna be doing what the developers want us to do. You see, the new DLC is all about creating history, making a legend about yourself. And what better way to make a legend of myself here on YouTube than by completing the most difficult and epic task in Crusader Kings 3, controlling the world's largest army, breaking the entire game's economy, and becoming a leader of a religion that crushes all other religions across the planet. And to do that, I've created an incredibly special character, John Giga Chad. Just look at him, he's perfect. Women want him, men want to be him, you want to submit to him as your new god. But there's gonna be a bit of a problem. You see, medieval Europe was a little bit of a battle royale when it came to religions. And these religions all kind of taught the same messages about forgiveness, tolerance, and peace. And they all had one thing in common. If you didn't follow their religion, they'd kill you. So the minute we try and create another religion, the game is designed to try and kill me. But we wouldn't be making history and creating the Ottawa Welshman legend if this wasn't one of the most difficult challenges. And if you want to be part of history as well, all you have to do is like and subscribe. But be warned, by doing so you submit to John as your god. So today we'll be playing as King John. What an absolute Chad, bruh. I even modded him in a little hat so he can look just like me. Look at him, he looks great. So taking a look at John here, he's the king of Lotharingia. And this is probably the most important kingdom in this game in my opinion right now, because it has the county of Cologne, which when holding it, I found an exploit that will absolutely and completely break the entire world's economy. But more on that in a minute. There's an issue with Lotharingia. It's wedged between these three major nations. West Francia, realm of the Frankish people. Italy, realm of the Italian people. East Francia, realm of the less creative, but hell, we'll just put an East in front of it. They'll never know we named it second. Frankish people. So Lotharingia here is going to need a good name. For the realm of people following John to the end of the world, giving him all their money, and laying down their life in battle for him, we have, John Ringia. Johningia? So the name's not the only problem with Lotharingia. We have way less troops than these three massive nations combined. And they have claims on my land, so at any moment they could declare war on me. Not only that, but I'm quite poor to start. So what I'm gonna do to avoid getting absolutely murked by Chucky here is to set up an alliance with him. So all I gotta do is marry this 16-year-old, that's not creepy at all.
Court documents containing the names of more than 150 people connected to Jeffrey Epstein are set to be unsealed this week. Prominent names expected to appear.
And I'll have a nice ally and he won't invade me. Perfect. So now looking at John himself, you can see that he's a lovely, lovely Catholic, and he's got some great traits, such as temperate, honest, and chaste. And naturally, the Pope is going to really be a big fan of us. It's for the traits, it's for the traits, I promise. Shame on you. Anyways, he'll be giving us a ton of his gold just because, you know, we're good Catholic and he likes us. Little does he know, however, we're going to be using that gold to create a religion which will crush Catholicism to nothing. So now, no one's gonna invade us, and we have a steady gold income from the Pope. It's about time we look into that exploit I found. Namely, we're going to look at the county of Cologne here, which to me is now the most important holding on the entire map. Why, you ask? Well, because it is a holy site to the Catholics and has a special building. And if I were to hold this, I would be allowed to use the new Legends mechanic. And while the developer's intention was to make this legend balanced and reasonable, yeah, well, I found a way to completely break the entire world's economy by simply using this one mechanic. So my next priority is taking control of Cologne. The only problem? It's currently being held by my vassal, Wilbert, who low-key looks like if sexy Shrek got kicked in the face by a horse. Not an issue. So what I'm going to do is actually create the duchy that Cologne belongs to and give it to Wilbert. And I know what you're saying. Ottawa, why are you doing that? Is a squirrel taking over? What's wrong with you? And it'll all become apparent in just a moment. I'm gonna let the game tick over for 1 year, which is exactly how long you need to revoke a title you just doled out.
1 year later.
So now that a year has passed, I can actually revoke the title. Conveniently, he's just created mansions in. So he's literally just invested 200 gold in a holding I'm about to steal from him. Feels bad. But does raise an interesting philosophical question. If there is a God, in his case, the Catholic God, who is an all-powerful, wise, and benevolent ruler, why would such a bad thing like losing all his land and that 200 gold investment in his manor houses, why would that happen? It's because I am more powerful than your God. What's his name? Wilbert. It's because I, Wilbert, am more powerful than your own God. Couldn't even remember his name, bro. Some god I am. So I'll simply go now and revoke his title. But because I gave him the duchy, which is the grouping of small counties, I can actually revoke that and I get all his land instead of just the one holding. Now, there's two reasons I wanted to pick up the holding of Cologne. One, it's going to allow us to build the Cologne Cathedral, which will give us a huge increase to our gold income, as well as an increase to our monthly piety. So the first thing I'm gonna do is save up my gold and build that. Okay, so you join me a little while later, just in time to build the Cologne Cathedral. Now, while that's building, I'll explain to you the second reason I wanted to pick up this holding. So with this new DLC, now in CK3, whenever you do something significant, you'll be able to start a new legend about yourself. In this case, being the custodian of the Cologne holy site is a legend seed we can start. But in order to unlock that, we have to be considered a paragon of virtue. So for all the piety points we get during this game, at certain amounts, you unlock a different tier. And right now we're morally ambiguous at best. So I'll simply go now and revoke his title. So yeah, right now we're faithful, and then after that it's a devoted servant, and then after devoted servant, you become a paragon of virtue. So in order to get there, we're gonna have to save up a lot of piety. We're also going to need a ton of piety for another reason: founding our new religion. Now, the religion you need to create for this exploit is going to take about 10,000 piety, which is a lot, and we're not making very much. In the meantime, I'm gonna flip over to the learning lifestyle focus and pick up the theology focus. And while that's all good and helpful, we're only really making 6 piety a month, but I have a plan. And that consists partially of picking up the profit perk, which will reduce the cost of creating a new faith by 50%. But 50% off a 10,000 piety religion, still 5,000 piety, and we're nowhere close. So I'm gonna have to think of something else. And we've had a son, Prince Otto. He's not so bad. Let's give him a good ancestral name, Ludwig. Okay, we'll call him Logwig the Great.
You've never had a Logwig? What?
And enough time's gone by, we can ask our head of faith for gold yet again, and he's gonna give us 371 gold. Now, I'm gonna turn around and spend that gold on going on a pilgrimage. And, you know, maybe we'll go to Jerusalem. I heard it's lovely this time of year. The warm sun on your skin, coarse sand in every crevice of your body, the color beige everywhere for some reason. Ancient Jerusalem, the 10th century's hottest tourist destination. Wander through these ancient streets, discover the wonders of the holy city, and realize, hey, maybe it's worth coming back with the lads in 100 years to murder everyone. Visit Ancient Jerusalem. History in the making. Plan a pilgrimage, a pious one. We'll make sure we focus on zealotry, and we will crank the pompousness. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Now, just for context here, we're taking the Pope's gold because he thinks we're a good Catholic, and using that to go on a pilgrimage, in which we'll gain a ton of piety, which we'll turn around and use to build a religion to utterly decimate Catholicism. Awesome, so we've got on the pilgrimage, and we've gained 1,062 piety. And now we've become a paragon of virtue and can unlock the custodian of the holy site legend. Now in doing this, we've started this story about ourselves, in which our peasants are going to discuss amongst themselves, and the more people discussing it, the more bonuses we get. For example, if our legend is known in less than 100 counties like it is right now, it's considered famed, and that'll give us potentially a legendary shrine. The bonuses for an illustrious one are we can evangelize the realm, making our kingdom completely the same as our religion, and if we spread our legend to 300 baronies or castles, it'll become a mythical legend. Now here's where things start to get a little wacky. With a mythical legend, you can still get the bonuses of the legendary shrine, and you can still evangelize the realm. But there's one more hidden decision, and it is completely broken. But in order to see it, we need to unlock a mythical legend, and in order to do that, we need to spread our legend to 300 baronies. So that's my next task. But before we do that, we've saved up enough renown for our first look at the new Dynasty Legacies page. Now, our whole play today is going to be surrounding these legends, right? So I'm going to strive for the golden legend here, which will allow us to become a saint when we pick up the mythical holy legend. So I'll start on down that tree. So let's go ahead and just create this legend. And right now, if you look, it is only present in our one castle where we started it. So I bet you're asking now, how are we going to spread this incredibly quickly? Now, we are going to hire a court chronicler, someone to write down the tales of all of our deeds. And I don't really have any good options here. So what I'll do is invite people to my court with these two decisions. And oh, look at this guy. He looks pretty good. So I'm looking for somebody with high diplomacy and high learning. That's going to make a good chronicler. Aldebert. He looks kind of like an Aldebert, to be fair. And what court chroniclers do is essentially help you spread your legend throughout the land. Depending on how good he is, we'll have a 5 to 60% chance of spreading each month. We'll also come over to our court positions and see if we can also pick up a court poet in this guy who's excellent. Oh, it's the same guy, bro.
Hello, how are you?
He's gonna be busy, dude. And a court musician. So now we have a court poet, a court musician, and a court chronicler. So now, as you can see, our legend's only present here, but if we let it play, slowly and surely, it will start spreading. We also seem to have a bit of a plague outbreak near us. John's boils. What I'll do to just curb that is isolate the capitals, send them into the old lockdown, and I'll also enter seclusion, and it'll give us some decrease to our perks for a little bit, but it will significantly improve the chance of infection. The other thing we can do is just make sure we have a good court physician, and we can set them on controlling the plague. I still got my own boils. Oh my god, look at this dude, bro. Look at this dude. He is not looking too healthy. You know, I've spread diseases before, but never boils. And never in Crusader Kings 3. Okay, John's measles seems to be under control. So taking a look back at our legend, while it is spreading, we want it to spread even faster. What I'm gonna do now is hold a massive grand tour. I'm gonna do a taxation tour. I'm gonna change the focus to spreading the legend. So I'm just gonna visit all these. This is gonna be super boring. We're gonna speed right through it. Okay, so we finally finished the grand tour, and from that, we got a ton of gold. So our legend is spread to over 100 counties now, and as a result, we can actually increase its quality, making it illustrious. So we're doing everything we need to do in that department, and we should eventually secure 300 baronies for this legend, resulting in a mythical legend, which will give us the secret hidden decision, which I've completely broken. But now we have to start thinking about addressing our other problem of needing a new religion to become a god amongst men. So you join me a bit later. I've been going on pilgrimages and hoarding my piety like an absolute fiend, and it's time we create a new religion. And the reason I'm going to create a new religion is plain and simple. For one, if I wanted to expand my empire and war somebody for more territory, I would need a claim on their land, a justification for my war. And even though John thinks he's a god amongst men right now, I can't just annex other territories without having a reason. But by altering our religion, we can have a reason, and it's that God told us it was all right. And the funny thing about the god of our new religion, you might know him already. And for 2, to activate the hidden decision that comes along with achieving a mythical religious legend, I'm going to need to become the most peaceful, warlike state in the entire world. Let me explain. So the first thing I'm gonna do is switch out armed pilgrimages for pacifism. Now this has to do with the decision, which we'll see when we unlock the mythical legend. Next, I'm gonna pick up pursuit of power. This is going to allow me to war any neighboring state. which is also completely broken. So now I'm a pacifist that will war his neighbors for additional land. I'm gonna keep communion, which will eventually let us become so rich we'll be able to single-handedly break the entire economy. The other thing I'm gonna do is make my religion the most criminal religion possible. Like, literally everything has to be criminal. Same-sex relations, criminal. Deviancy, criminal. Male adultery, criminal. Female adultery, criminal. Killing anybody in your dynasty, criminal. Witchcraft, it's all gotta be criminal. Now, as you might notice, the world at this time is controlled primarily by two major religions, Catholicism and Islam. Now, if I try and make a third religion completely different from these guys, they are going to absolutely hate it. So much so that they'll try and holy war me off the map. I'll be obliterated, game over. So I don't want to tip anybody off about this new religion, which is why it is a division of the Catholic religion, and I'm going to call it Catholicism 2. Like the DLC of Catholicism. Don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and lock Catholicism 2 in. And it's taken up a small portion of Europe here, but it's not nearly enough. If I'm gonna make history here on YouTube, get all of you to subscribe and become a god among men in real life, I'm gonna need a lot more of the map. But what this religion does do is now give us access to that hidden decision. So you'll now see a mythical legend gives you evangelize the realm, which converts your kingdom to your religion. Very reasonable, very balanced, beautiful. But now you'll also notice there's this decision, evangelize pacifism. And this is only visible because we have the pacifism doctrine. And when you take this decision, it basically asks your neighbors to convert to your religion. And there's a very high probability they take it. Now this was put into the game because it's an amazing feat. You spent all this time being a pacifist religion. Well, not us, we literally just converted. But anyway, all this time being a pacifist religion, doing this crazy legend thing, and now you should be rewarded. And in theory, it is super balanced. For one, if you have a one-time event to spread a pacifist religion like this, odds are these pacifists won't war their neighbors and it won't spread too far. But I told you, this was broken. And oh boy, have I found an exploit to completely abuse this. But in order to exploit this spreading of peace, I first need to start a lot of war on small defenseless counties that just happen to be neighboring giant nations. Take Visby here, they're incredibly tiny, practically undefended, and right next to Sweden, plus all these other places, they're gonna be a prime target. Perfect, so we grabbed Visby, and I'm just gonna repeat this process with pretty much all kinds of little places around. Now, our legend has spread pretty far and wide. Great news because it'll allow us to increase the quality. We now have a mythical legend, but I'm not going to complete it just yet. It's really important that I wait till my next life. Oh my god, my son's in my prison for being a fornicator. What? Let's go. Okay. The reason I'm celebrating so hard is because his son, my grandson, is a genius, which is perfect. So if I could get rid of my son, it would be awesome. What I'm gonna do is, oh, I can execute him, but then I'd become killing anybody in your dynasty. Criminal. Okay, yeah, let's move him to the dungeon.
Many months later.
Oh, okay. So our son Logwig has passed on, just withered away in the old dungeon. If we look at our succession, it actually all goes to John Giga Chad, who is actually a complete unit, dude. Okay, so we have died finally at the ripe age of 81, bro. King John of John Gringia, soul has finally been cast to hell. A degenerate man of repulsive tastes. Cast to hell? Why? Why? Just because I married a 16-year-old? Just because I stole land from a priest? Just because I started committing war crimes on small, indefensible nations? Just because they happen to be neighboring bigger nations? Just because I accidentally murdered my own son by locking him away in a dungeon for committing a small crime that I intentionally made illegal? Why? Why am I going to hell for that? This game, man, sometimes unrealistic. So the first thing I'm gonna do is complete the legend. It's going to make me a saint, giving me increased piety. The miracles of King John, so be it. Perfect, man. So now we have about 2,000 piety. We can hold a funeral, and we'll do it for my grandfather, the beautiful John Giga Chad. I will never forget him. Look at him, he's a sleepy little snooze bear. From that funeral, we just gained 562 piety. Wow, that was actually kind of clutch, to be fair. You may have noticed I've been going around and picking up random counties in the middle of nowhere. I have them everywhere. I have them in the British Isles, Scandinavia, near Mongolia, the Middle East. Now, I've picked all these up with the intention of exploiting that evangelized pacifism decision. But if I took that decision now, it would spread my current religion, Catholicism too, all around the planet. And we wouldn't want that, with all its peace and love. No. So now we get into the exploit here, because once we have this decision unlocked, we could go ahead and change our faith and create a new Christian faith. And we will still have this decision unlocked. And that's where it starts to get pretty broken. So let's go ahead and create our new Christian faith now. So first things first, we're gonna change from our religion of peace to one of excessive violent religious expansion. Seems about right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is sub out pacifism for armed pilgrimages. Again, just going the other direction. Not only will this incentivize anyone following our religion to cheaply holy war their heathen neighbors, but it will allow me, the new leader and pope, to direct massive holy wars against other nations. I'm gonna also make our religious attitude fundamentalist, meaning any super aggressive followers of this religion will be able to revoke titles from vassals they take over, assuming the vassal is of another religion. Not only that, but I'm also gonna pick up mendicant preachers, increasing conversion speed of different territories and the people in it. Now, essentially, we have a formula here to spread our religion across the planet incredibly quickly. Our new religion, where even your most basic urges are all considered criminal sins. Can you think of any benefit to having the entire world follow this religion? Well, what if you happen to be a saint? What if you actually happen to be not only a saint, but the Pope? And what if you had a mechanic where anyone who sinned could just pay you off like some sort of New Jersey waste management consultant? That wouldn't be super balanced, it would be rather broken. And what if you had a jumpstart to convert a huge chunk of the world right away to this religion? Well, that would pretty much instantly make you a god. And there's only one religion I want to be a god of. Johnism. Unrelated to Jainism. That stole my idea. All hail the mighty John. So what we'll do first is we will evangelize the realm. And now you can see a lot more is now been converted to Johnism. But now we need to evangelize pacifism, which is going to be the big one. It's going to give all our neighbors a super high probability to convert to Johnism. And because we have tiny territories scattered literally everywhere throughout this map, a huge chunk of the world should convert. Let's go ahead. Peace will prevail. Well, not peace anymore. Actually, aggressive violence will prevail. Oh my God. So we didn't get everybody. Like, there's definitely some big swaths of places missing. Look at all these people that converted. Okay, let's unpause and see if this pays off.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And already the indulgences are flowing in. The first one's from this guy. He's a bit lustful, which is a sin. While I try to be a good Johnite, I stumble from time to time. Well, don't we all, eh? Oh, okay. So our son Logwig has passed on. Let's go. Poor guy. He's literally been in our religion for a day, and he's going to be giving us 100 gold. All for this fictitious piety we've just made up. It's not coming from our account. It's just made from thin air and sold to this man for gold. And if that's not the definition of a crypto scam, I don't know what is. Seriously, I don't know what it is. Somebody please tell me I'm slowly going broke. And a day later, we get another 100 gold. This is gonna be a little bit broken. Oh, and I noticed the Byzantine emperor over here has stuck with his pesky Orthodox religion. But not to worry, because, you know, we have all this money now flowing in. I could just send his heir some gold. I'll invite him over to my kingdom for a little visit, which for some reason gives him a little hat, which is still not as nice as my custom one, but it's fine. Demand his conversion to Johnism. Pay to assassinate the current emperor. Bon appetit, little kid. Okay, perfect. So now we have a Johnner in charge of the Byzantine Empire also. Oh my God, like, look at this. This is literally half my screen. 900 gold a month. I'm pretty much making more money right now than every other nation on this map combined. Okay, so the Pope has been kind of slacking. Like, straight up, the entire world has turned to Johnism. I have to put him out of his misery. I don't see any other way. I took some claims on Rome here, and we are just destroying the Pope here, man. Let's go. 100%. We can enforce our demands, and Rome is ours. So I keep clicking up here, and I keep accidentally accepting chess games.
What the hell is even that?
But little do these guys know that I'm actually a pro chess player. I guess they're just some of the absolute jotters that didn't watch the last video. Spent literally 7 months becoming a pro at chess, and no one watched it. Let's go. My elo is going through the roof, dude. This guy's absolutely playing on tilt right now. All right, so you joined me back in the year 895.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
John the Gracious not doing too bad. Johnism itself has expanded beyond absolute belief. Johnism can be found in 1,300 counties. The next biggest religion, Ashari, 220. And if you look for Catholicism, they're way down here at 58. What I'm going to do now is gain a little bit more of the Middle East, and the best way to do something like that is by crusading them. I guess I'll grab the Kingdom of Arabia. 90,000 against his 40,000. Oh my god, I'm not even going to have to do anything, for real. So we have our 90,000 guys here, and they have like 100? Oh my god, dude, the indulgences keep rolling in. Like, we're sustaining our army on simply just indulgences. Oh, come on, guys, get in, get in. Oh, there you go. It's currently 21,000 to 4.
Easy peasy.
Okay, we've won the crusade for Arabia. A huge remaining chunk of the world that is not Johnist will fall to us.
2 very boring minutes later.
Oh, would you look at that? There's a jihad for Arabia. St. George, protect us from these infidels. And just take a look. There's 15,000 of them and 47,000 of us. Should be a good shout for us. I don't foresee any issues here. Okay, we can enforce our demands. Perfect. Yeah, I'd have to say we're looking pretty good, man. Okay, I was just looking at the Byzantine Empire here, and we have our lovely dwarf leader as normal, but his wife...
What the dog doing?
Has got the trait Holy Fire, so there's basically a plague sweeping Constantinople right now, making her dance, like literally dance to death. That's hilarious. Now, in the span of just a few years, I've saved up 37,000 gold from selling people fake piety, and this Abbasid Empire really made me upset when they crusaded right back for Arabia. So I think it's time I put the final nail in the coffin here, and my visit to Jerusalem 100 years ago really gave me an idea. What I'll do is I'll declare war on him, and then I'm gonna use our brand new subs of gold here to just hire a few mercenaries. Okay, we'll take the Bavarian band, the Danish band, at the Norse band. What else we got? The band of the Black Monk. Perfect. I'm curious if he's a monk who is black or a monk that wears black. Or it's a band of them. It could be both. Okay, so neither. Good. Such a missed opportunity right there. Oh, the Saxons. How could I forget the Saxons? What about the Franconians? Maybe the Austrian company? After all that, we've hired 61,000 mercenaries. Oh, he's running away. Look at him.
Boom, bam.
And watch as our army completely wipes his off the map. Only 9 survivors. And with that, we get to secure Jerusalem. And finally, Jerusalem is Johnish. And you know what? That's good enough for me. So Johnism has taken over the majority of the planet, I would argue, with some spots here and there, but I'm sure I could keep holy warring them till death with my infinite amount of gold. John has become a god among men. That's where we end the game. Thank you for watching. Pick up the DLC, subscribe. Please help me get to 100K. It's like the only life goal I've had for the last 3 years, and I'm so close. And I guess the only other thing to say is it's good to be back. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The Ottawa Welshman, the CK3, man, I'm the king of this land.
Hey, check out this video on screen right now. My hand picked it just for you. I guarantee you're gonna like it.
Got 1,000 sons, all named John. They probably don't know that their cousin is the mom. Tutorials played through, speed runs the win. No challenge too great for the Ottawa Welshman.